whispering Canadian. And yes, once again, I'm going to be talking about the floods. I wasn't going to, but I had an opportunity to go back to the same spot and show you guys the aftermath a little bit. So I've included the pictures of when the flood first started to breach the banks on that side of the river. And then you'll see the aftermath. And I went back to this same spot. And so you'll see it. I also kind of show what the river level is now. And that is more of it's a regular level. It's what it should be at. But you can see all the debris and the trees and the rocks that have all been swept down the river. This town is more of a mess than I had expected. And it's kind of disappointing just because it's kind of a place that, I mean, I was born there. It's kind of a place I know quite well. I have family there. And on Canada Day, which was July 1st, I was helping my grandparents, well, my whole family was. We were helping my grandparents move and clean out their house. I've been there for the last little while. I told you guys that I took time off of work to do these types of things. And I guess it was almost a week ago that I was helping out my grandparents' neighbors. I was helping clean out their house, and I saw the Prime Minister then. Actually, he was helping out. He was cleaning, or he was volunteering to clean up a couple houses away from me. So I got to see him along with the Premier again. So that's kind of cool. I think eventually I'll go back to this town and show you guys a little bit more. It's just difficult to find. I mean, it's difficult to get around. They've cleaned it up quite a bit already, but it's still a pretty big mess. Yeah, let's see, what else did I have to talk about? Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that in early May I started my training to be the security guard. It was just a week-long training with, self-defense classes and handcuffing, that kind of thing. And now I've started working at a hospital, but the hospital is still closed down because of flooding. It'll open up in a week or so, but I've said it before, it's not a job that I want to be doing for very long. I don't plan on doing it for any more than like a year. actually get to sleep at night, so. Also, I put it up on Facebook. I put up a status. And I didn't plan on telling you guys because it's not a big deal, but I was drugged up and decided to make a status. But when on the first day there, one of the guards was showing me around, just describing what I'd have to do. And we were going down a flight of stairs, and my brain thought, oh hey, now would probably be a good time to have a seizure. So I did that. It was kind of a weird thing. I remember feeling very uncomfortable, and I knew that something was wrong. And so I stopped, and then I just started to feel my body just freeze up. And then I blacked out. I don't know what happened. But apparently I fell down the stairs, a couple of stairs down, and he drove me to another hospital that was open. And basically, I fell through a roof a while back. We were on a fire call. I think I told you guys about that. But anyways, I had some problems from that, and that's basically the reason, but it's not a big deal, so yeah. Anyways, I'm showing you the video here. You can see the bike path is just gone. And it's just a bike path, but it's still kind of sad to see because from camping and everything, I always went on this bike path. And I always went down that little ramp. I have a lot of bad memories on that ramp because I always fell on it. A lot of my blood is in that ramp. I was a pretty klutzy child, so. But, I mean, most of the damage is just things, right? It's just material things, but some of the things you can't get back, like, my grandmother had a letter from her uncle, from her uncle. He fought, or he was one of my relatives that fought in the First World War, and she had a box of letters that a lot of them are destroyed because of the flooding, and you can't get that kind of thing back. She managed to save a few of them, but it's just kind of sad to see that type of thing. They're just opening up. They basically just opened up this town again. They just opened it up on Canada Day, I think, was the first day. But a lot of the town, even today, is still underwater. They're still pumping it out. And, it's just, sad to see, I guess. And I don't think that this town will ever be the same. It's gonna take, like I said, about 7 years, they expect, for things to be rebuilt. But, oh, by the way, I told you guys about when I left, I saw the water starting to flood down a set of stairs. And the stairs were on this bike path, but they got swept away down to where I'm pointing, I rocks that were swept in from the river. And they swept into the campground. And actually, there used to be, this campground was worse. On the day of the flooding, when I was in there with the fire department, there were boats in there and overturned cars. This campground, we got, well, there were 3 people on the top of their cars that we had to rescue, and 1 person on their roof of their house. That day was pretty interesting. There was one rescue that is difficult to describe where it was, but basically we saw a woman on the top of her car, and it was flooding, just beginning to flood. In this area, the water wasn't very deep or fast at the moment, but she was elderly, so we said, just stay there, we'll come get you. Anyways, it was my turn to do it, and so we figured, well, we had just heard about 2 other firefighters who had gotten swept away. It was a close call, so even though the water was very calm and not very high yet, because it was just at the beginning of the flood, but we decided we shouldn't take any chances, and so I tied a rope around my waist, and I started walking in after her, and basically she must have had so much confidence, because I was talking to her, just telling her, because she was starting to freak out, so I was telling her, just calm down, it's alright, I'm coming to get you. And I don't know what I tripped over. I think it was a curb. I tripped over a curb, I fell in the water, and I fell into a sinkhole, a fairly deep sinkhole in the pavement. So my team pulled me out, and she started cracking jokes that she would like somebody else to come save her. So that was pretty embarrassing. And I'm pretty klutzy, so nobody's letting that one go, because it looked kind of ridiculous. And I'm glad that there were no photographers there, because it was funny at least. So I was kind of drenched after that. My department rescued 45 people over the floods. They just found another body yesterday, so that brings up the total from the floods to 6 deaths. 1 was killed. 1 elderly woman drowned in Calgary. 3 were swept down they were found in High River, but they fell into the river upstream. And then another 2 were killed in High River. This likely won't be the last that I talk about the floods. And I kind of want to do these videos just almost as a memory of this event, of this disaster, for myself. I'm still in shock over it, and perhaps in the future I'll tell you guys more about what I did during the floods. And I have a been there off and on, and my family has gone to different homes to help. But it's cool, just like there was a country star that came out and helped clean up Paul Brandt, and I got to meet him. That was pretty cool. And just seeing people coming out to help people who have not been affected in any way. Like, we got overfed when we were there. Like, people brought pizzas. They went out to pizza shops and just brought pizzas and went around and gave them to people. And that kind of thing is fantastic. And I know it meant a lot to us as well as the residents of High River. So, you know, those types of things definitely mean a lot. So thank you guys for listening, and once again, I'm sorry for posting that thing on Facebook. I was drugged up. Not a big deal. And yeah, so I may be a bit busier because I'm working night shifts. And on my days off, I'm working for the farmers still, as well as for the fire department. But I'll still make time to make videos. So this likely will not be the last of these types of videos. I won't lie. Sorry if you're getting sick of them. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. Stay safe, guys.